Hello and welcome to Sports Update this beautiful evening. I'm Emmanuel Fashimi, and on Update this evening, I had a lot of stories to tell you, a lot of juicy and sports story, but I will not be doing this alone. But quickly, let me just give you a snippet to the first story where we have where the future Eagles have arrived Japan for the Dream Cup tournament, and I have Olawale Peters joining me on Sports Update this evening. The Dream Cup tournament, the future Eagles, as they are called, landed in Japan. That was yesterday, and they are battle ready for the tournament.
Oh, thank you, Emmanuel, for having me. It's my pleasure being here once again. Yeah, it's good that they've landed. The
Future Eagles.
The Eagles have landed, and that future Eagles, I don't know the reason why they gave them the name, but they should stop deceiving us or giving us this consolation that truly they are future Eagles. How many future Eagles have you seen from the under 17 or under 20 for the past 5-6 years?
None. Apart from okay, let's say Victor Osimhen, Taiwo
and Cole. Others, we are talking about 2 out of about 18 or 20 players that have gone there. That's the reason. That's the difference between us and the Europe.
Yeah.
Then in Europe, what they do is they'll continue to nurture this player from under 17 to under 20 to under 23 to Super Eagles. So that's why you continue hearing their names for like 15 or 20 years. Our home, we don't. We just hear their names probably in 2022 when he wants to play
maybe
Nations Cup tournament or World Cup. Then after 2 or 3 years, you're not going to do that again. So to the boys, if you look at them, for the first time I would say this, we are really going with players that are actually
that age
because of the MRI test and whatever that they put in place right now. Look at them. They look the age. So do they have the experience? No, they don't have the experience. Do they have the exposure? They don't have the exposure. But do they have the skills and the ability to deliver capital? Yes. So what they are bringing on board is their own skills. What the government is supposed to do or supposed to invest on them is to invest on them by giving them the exposure and the experience that they. I can bet you almost 90 or 95% of these young boys, they are entering play for the first time in their life.
That's true.
Some of them, they are going to Japan for the first time. They've never eaten anything outside Nigerian food for the first time in their entire life. And they are going for a competition that they will spend 2-3 weeks. They have to acclimatize with the weather. They are used to our own weather here. They don't. So all these things are the things that affect the players. But what we look out for is the players are not playing very well. How would they play very well? Some of them have not seen a crowd that is more than 5,000 before.
Even 1,000 at most.
Now they'll be looking at a crowd of about 20, 30, 40,000.
That will come on.
They've never seen a synthetic grass that really look like synthetic grass, that when you score, you can really
slide on it and get that feel of
But when they get to the field of play, the first thing they'll be looking at for is, wow, look at this pitch. So that one also will affect all these boys psychologically and mentally. So they are not psychologically prepared for this competition. What we just need is we just pick them from left, right, and center. That's not the issue.
Okay, the president, NFF president Ibrahim Gusau, when he took over from Majumevi Pinnick, during his acceptance speech and appreciation speech or whatever, he made it a point of call that he was going to pay attention to these young lads, these future Eagles. And I believe immediately after that statement, he swung into action. This team have been in camp, coached by Haruna Ilerika. And right now, we were in Japan 2019 for this same tournament. 2020, we couldn't do because of coronavirus and what have you last year. And now we are there this year. Now, this man has said he's going to pay attention. What do we actually need to do? Because these are future Eagles, no matter how we look at it. Some of them will be picked to under 17, under 20, and then Super Eagles. If we really want to follow that statement, future Super Eagles, how can we put these things together to achieve this aim?
Okay, the first question we should ask them is, what plan do they have for these players before this tournament and after this tournament? That's the first question. Now, the tournament we are playing now, it is not that we qualified last month or 2 months ago. We've qualified few months back. Now, between that time and now, have we taken these boys outside the terrain of Nigeria to go and camp? Have you done that?
No.
Have you done any training for them? Is there any exposure for them? This is what we are talking about. It's not about them giving us speeches that I will do this, I will do this. No, tell us what you've put in place and how you need to achieve it so that we can start tracking and hold you accountable for it. Now we're having this tournament in Japan, and these people have qualified about 5 or 6 months ago. You look at the weather of Japan, you look at their food, you look at the atmosphere. Where do we have in Africa that have almost similar
weather to that of Japan?
If you can't go to Japan right now, that's number one. We'll take these boys there. Let them try and have that exposure. It means a lot. It's called confidence building. If you're not exposed, you can't have the confidence.
That's true.
So that is what I think they really need to be looking into. And they have to come out with a plan. How can they achieve this? Then if you're talking about under 17, it is not something that you should be doing like in fire brigade approach. I still recall when we used to dominate the world in under 17 and under 19 tournaments. You know what we do? We have what we call Principal Cup.
Yes.
That Principal Cup in those days, we have scouts from Nigeria that will go to school from one competition and watch. And immediately after the Principal's Cup, all these players, you bring all of them together, let them start training, because that is where you can really get on the 17. You get them from the age of 14 or 15 years together. Let them bond together. Let them have that team spirit together like 6 or 1 year before the tournament. That is what we are calling adequate planning. Okay. Enroll them in school, in academics, that it will not disturb the academics, the fact that they are sports together. But they have that in place. They don't have that in place. Now all of us now, they're in Japan, the future Eagles, they will win the trophy for us.
But Dare tried to bring back the Principal Cup, and I know it worked. About 2 players thereabout was in this under 17 team from the Principal Cup, and then we have I don't want to call the name of the school right now, that is combining sports and football together. It's a very popular school and owned by former NFF president, that is Sani Nulu. I will not call the name of the school.
Let them pay for the advert.
They should pay for the advert, so that I call the name of the school. But looking at it this way, now you made mention of adequate planning. Now over the years, Dare, for the past 8 years that he has been in office, Principal Cup, we used to have what is called entire sport.
Yes.
What happened to all of this?
Okay, now I'll tell you the reason why it's possible for, it's impossible for us to have that right now. In the 80s, early 90s, most of the secondary schools belong to the government. Yes, and they have the space, they have the land where you can
big feed.
Now, most of the schools that we have right now, they are using 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom for primary and secondary school. So they don't even know what they call inter-house sport. They don't even have any sporting activities.
At all.
I've said 8 times without number. We used to have PHE, physical and health education. You have the time for it for 2 hours. You go out there and participate in any sport of your choice. We have that, but we don't have that again. What we need to do first to get it right is to go back to the academic curriculum and reintroduce the physical and health education and make it compulsory. The same way we used to have what they call practical farming.
Yes,
that practical farming.
I think I remember that.
You have to go out there. You have to learn how to farm.
My agri teacher used to beat us when you don't do that.
That is what we do. You see, we are getting a lot of things wrong in this country because we are forgetting the grassroots. You see, this practical farming, it helps us when it comes to agriculture. We have what they call Introtech.
Yes, of course.
Those days, Introtech also, you learn how to use blue wire, red wire to make bulb and to do a lot of things. We have PHE. We have history. All these 4 subjects, they are no longer in existence. The only thing that we speak Queen English. And where has it taken us to? That's not taking us to anywhere. So what we need to do, if we want to get this right, is for us to go back to that academic curriculum and reintroduce PHE and let everybody come in together. In fact, part of the condition in which the Ministry of Education should be approving schools now, they should be looking at space. What space do you have?
You have for
how many square meters of land do you want your school to be doing? These are the things that we need to look into, because if you don't do this, forget it. We'll still be here talking about the same thing.
We'll be roaming about. We just have to go back to the basics so that we can actually get it right. We used to dominate the Under-17 World Cup. When it comes to cadet age grade teams, competition, Nigeria is always number 1. But right now, a lot has actually happened, and we are going down, and we're already down. We just need to wake up and get back to where we used to be. And moving away from that story, let's head straight to Argentina, where the quarterfinal fixtures, the quarterfinal games, will be starting today. Our own Nigerian team will not be playing today. They will be playing tomorrow. But for the fixtures today is already on the screen. USA will be playing New Zealand, while Uzbekistan will tackle Israel. Israel was the main reason why Indonesia was stripped off of the hosting right, because they never wanted this country to come to their own country because of a bilateral issue. But outside that, USA against New Zealand. USA now is not trying to come up when it comes to football.
Okay, it's a project they started a long time ago. That was why the likes of David Beckham and co, they move into MLS. Just like we have Saudi Arabia, they are doing currently now, that they have the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo
playing in their league.
And most likely we may have Messi joining him also. What does that mean? They are building their football development. That's what US started a long time ago, and it's yielding off right now. We saw the recent World Cup. We saw what their team did. Also, look at their under 20. Before USA, they are only known for what?
Basketball and their athletics.
The athletics or American football. But now, if you're talking about football, also you can mention America. They qualify from their continent, and they always get to either quarterfinal or round of 16 before they can be really knocked out. So that means they are really improving. Tonight's match will be very interesting. If you look at New Zealand, you look at them now. Oh, New Zealand, they are not known for football, but football nowadays now. Take it or leave it. What you have on paper is different from what will happen
on the pitch.
On the pitch of play. So don't be surprised if New Zealand will
beat USA.
But I'll go for USA because right now their football has really, really developed. And when it comes to this under 17 and under 20, they have the age on their own side. They don't use the age like some countries. I didn't mention any country like they used to they used to do. So
but we've corrected that. We've corrected that. For the first time, we went with the age.
I didn't mention any country.
Nigeria is a culprit. All African countries are in it, but okay. Nigeria, I will mention my own country. But we went with the right age. Okay, USA, New Zealand. You're going for USA. USA will actually maybe beat New Zealand. Let's see what happened tonight. And for the other game, the second game, let's have the other game. Let's have the fixtures now. The second game that will be happening tonight. What's your take on the second game? Uzbekistan against Israel. Uzbekistan. Who knows them for football?
Even Israel.
Even the two countries. So Israel are known for other things, not.
Okay. I think the game will be boring. That's the truth. It's not a game that I want to sit down and watch for 90 minutes, or probably I'll just watch the highlights. But you may be surprised. You may see some fantastic player coming out of from the team also, because they didn't get to where they are right now by luck or by chance. They have to defeat,
they worked for it.
They have to defeat a team. They have to qualify from their group. They have to represent their continent before they are where they are right now. So I'll give it a 50-50 chance between Israel and their opponent. It's a 50-50 chance. Anybody can win the game.
Okay, anybody can win the game. Uzbekistan, surprisingly, they got 2 goals against the host, that is Argentina. And right now, they are into the last of 16. Let's see what happened between the two nations, Israel and Uzbekistan. Who wins this qualifies straight to the semi-final. Let's move away from that story and head straight to England, where the prize money for all the top teams, the 20 teams, what they will be earning. We will start with Manchester City, who actually won the league. They will be earning £128.4 million. Arsenal, who came second, first runners-up, will be earning £126.4 million. Manchester United will be earning £124.4 million. Newcastle, £122.4 million. Then Liverpool will earn £111 million. Brighton, 109. Aston Villa, 106. Tottenham, 101. And then if you look at the other side, from 17 to 20, even the team that went on relegation will be earning £79 million. Big money. Can we actually have this in Nigerian Premier League?
Yeah, we can. Like I used to say, and I'll continue saying, until we see sport as business. We won't be able to achieve this. But the moment we start seeing sport as business, now football, for example, now what they do here, they trade most of this club, their share, they trade it on the stock exchange.
Yes.
So it's not really about I'm supporting for nothing. No,
branding and the rest of
branding, and this money we are talking about is the money that the FA is giving
Even the team that went on relegation, 79 million pounds.
This is the money that the FA they are giving to the clubs. It's different from the revenue that the clubs they generated on their own. It's different from the sales of jersey. It's different from the advert. It's different from partnership. It's different from sales of players. If we have that in this country, we can make, if not up to this, we can make close to this. What we need to do is privatization. Let there be that is the key. Let's have that act that no state government should own more than 20 or 30% stake in any club or any league in this country. Once we have that, you now have individual that will come in and buy over the teams. Currently now, from the NPFL league, we have only how many teams?
I think Remo Stars, Enyimba that are being sponsored by individuals, like Remo Stars, owned by, I will not call the name of the man. He should come and see us if he wants me to call his name. But it's owned by just an individual. And sincerely speaking, Remo Stars is actually doing well. I think they've taken football, as business to a different level. So
now, if you have 2 from 20 teams that have been sponsored by individual, so what percentage is that? About 2%. 2%. That's not what we are looking at. We're looking at about 80 or 90%, so that we can have our jersey be printed here in the country. If we are printing our jersey here in the country, that means we're going to provide employment and job opportunity for a lot of people that will be doing that also. So when we have a stadium being jam-packed by supporters coming in to watch the match also, we are providing job opportunity for people. We are providing job opportunity for the SME people that will come and sell pure water, biscuits, and what have you. So that is what we are talking about. The money is very interesting, but I think we can do better in this country if you look at how to privatize our sport, especially the game of football in this country. A very good one from Manchester City to Southampton. I think they are not going home without
Arsenal, who bottled the league, 126 million pounds. Okay, let's move away from that story. We are still in England, where the top 10 players, the best player for this season, have emerged. And no other person that we should be occupying number 1 is Erling Haaland of Manchester City, Martin Odegaard of Arsenal, Bukayo Saka of Arsenal, Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City, Harry Kane of Tottenham, second highest goal scorer this season. We have Gabriel Martinelli of Arsenal, Jack Grealish, Man City, Marcus Rashford, Manchester United, the only Man U player there. We have Ike Gundogan of Manchester City on number 9, and then Alex McAllister of Brighton on number 10. Now, this list, who is missing? Before we talk about the...
Nobody. To me, personally, nobody. Nobody is missing. The best 10 so far. To be sincere with you, nobody can contest what Erling Haaland has done.
Of course, that stands out.
Then Odegaard, you cannot talk about the success of Arsenal
without that man.
Without that man. That's the truth. And that's why I said earlier in the show in the morning that Arsenal team, watch out for them next season, but they are not a team in transition again. They are about to get it right. Take it or leave it. Then Bukayo Saka, this is a player that played all the matches for Arsenal this season. And we've seen his performance also, Kevin De Bruyne. We know what he can do.
For the Baba,
everybody will give it to him. The passes are accurate. The goal scoring are fantastic, are exceptional. You know the diameter, the meters of the net, where to play the ball without even looking at it. You can't talk about Harry Kane. As bad as Tottenham is, once you have Harry Kane on the pitch, he will score. Currently now, is the leading highest goal scorer in the history of Tottenham.
Yes.
So Martinelli,
Jack Grealish, Marcus
Rashford, Gundogan, and all of them. To me, the best 10 is the best 10. What are you expecting?
Okay, I expected to see Ivan Toney, maybe of Brentford, maybe because of his issue that he has sexual harassment or whatever. His name is missing, but I expected that man to be there. But overall, I think this is the best player. We cannot take it away from these 10 players in the English Premier League this season. Let's move away from that England and head straight to Germany, where another Englishman now playing in Germany, that is Jude Bellingham, named 2022-2023 Bundesliga player of the season. Very fantastic player. He was there in the World Cup and he came back. He hit the ground running for Borussia Dortmund, but it's just painful that they also bottled the league like Arsenal at the end.
Okay, I said the way you are attacking Arsenal, when Adeniyi comes back, I hope it won't be between you and him because Adeniyi is still going through the pains of Arsenal losing the league. Okay, it's so unfortunate that we have another Arsenal team in German Bundesliga, but this time around, they call themselves Borussia Dortmund because nobody ever believed that they are not going to win that match at home. So unfortunate. That's football for you. Anything can happen. Okay, for Bellingham, a fantastic player, 19 years old, and is among the few players that have left the squad of England to go and prove themselves outside the England. That's the truth, because you know one thing about the English players. They are half or average players, but the way they will hike them is to look as if they are the best player in the world. But for him, I'll give it to him. At the age of 19 years, he has achieved it. He left Birmingham City at the age of 17 years, and 2 years down the line, look at what he has achieved so far for himself. I hope, Borussia Dortmund, they will not do what they know how to do best. Okay. They will make the players and they will sell the players. Talk about the likes of Lewandowski, Haaland,
Gundogan in
Manchester City. Talk about Dembele. Talk about Pulisic. Talk about
even Götze,
Mario Götze. A lot of them. That is what they do. They make the player and they sell the players to make money. Aubameyang also, we shouldn't forget that he came from Borussia Dortmund also. I hope they're not going to do that, because if they do that, that means there's possibility that Bellingham will go back to England, and him going back to England will not really help his career. It's someone that needs to remain where he is right now, or he go to Real Madrid. No, I don't want to advertise for Real Madrid. Probably will go to La Liga, either Real Madrid or Barcelona. No. But I see him all going to England if they are ready to sell him, because we have people that have the money. Don't be surprised Newcastle can bid for him. Okay, don't be surprised that Newcastle can bid for Jude Bellingham. That is the size of the show this evening. Olawale Peters, thanks for coming on the show. It's my pleasure being Emmanuel, and I hope you have your answer ready for Adeniyi by bashing the Arsenal team. I think I will be ready for him. All right, I'm Emmanuel Fashemi, saying bye for now.